Welcome to the online learning modules for exercise prescription guidelines. This is the fourth of 4 modules that you will be watching. We ask that you do not look up any other materials in regards to the information that you're about to see. Feel free to take notes throughout if you would like. For more information on the topics covered in this module, please visit the host website of exerciseprescription.web.unc.edu. Thank you, and I hope you enjoy this module. This fourth module is on the American College of Sports Medicine's guidelines for neuromotor training. It is important to note that these modules are focused on the guidelines for sedentary, healthy individuals. All of the guidelines are based on the FITT-VP principle for exercise prescription. The objectives for this module are to learn the FITT-VP principle in relation to the ACSM's neuromotor training guidelines. It is expected that students will be able to know the frequency, intensity, time, type, volume, and progression of recommended neuromotor training after watching this module. Before we go over the ACSM's recommendations for neuromotor training, let's first define what neuromotor training is. Neuromotor training involves motor skills such as balance, coordination, gait, agility, and proprioceptive training. It is also called functional fitness training. Neuromotor training can be used to improve balance, agility, and prevent slips, trips, and falls. Let's now move on to the ACSM's recommendations for neuromotor training based off the FITT-VP principle. You may notice in the next couple slides that many of the components of the FITT-VP principle are unknown in relation to neuromotor training. This is because there is variability in the quality of available studies, and therefore, more studies need to be done before the ACSM can make recommendations for neuromotor training. Let's now start at the first letter of the FITT-VP principle, which is frequency. Frequency of physical activity is the number of days per week dedicated to performing physical activity. The American College of Sports Medicine recommends that healthy sedentary adults perform neuromotor training 2 to 3 days per week. Now let's look at the second letter of the FITT-VP principle, or intensity. An effective intensity is not yet determined for neuromotor training. Let's now look at the third letter of the FITT-VP principle, or time. The ACSM recommends that healthy sedentary adults perform 20 to 30 minutes of neuromotor training. Let's now look at the second T of the FITT-VP principle, or type. The ACSM recommends that healthy sedentary adults perform exercises involving motor skills such as balance, agility, coordination and gait, proprioceptive exercise training, and multifaceted activities such as Tai Chi and yoga. This recommendation is mainly based off studies for older individuals or those at risk for falling. The effectiveness for younger and middle-aged individuals is not yet established. Let's now move on to the next letter of the FITT-VP principle and examine the recommendations for volume of neuromotor training. The optimal volume for neuromotor training is still unknown. Finally, the last letter of the FITT-VP principle, or the progression of neuromotor training. The optimal progression of neuromotor training is still unknown. Here's a summary of the ACSM's recommendations for neuromotor training in relation to the FITT-VP principle.